Hey everyone, it's Miss Melody from the Ludington Library Junior Room. Welcome back to Try It Out with Miss Melody. Before we get started, I wanted to point out that today's date is actually kind of funny. It is the 22nd day of the second month of the year 2022. So if you were to write out the date, it would be 2-22-22 or 2-2 Tuesday. If you come and visit the Junior Room today, you'll notice we have a special display of books for 2-2 Tuesday that feature some famous literary duos that you can check out. The other Lower Merion libraries are also doing some fun things to recognize this little bit silly day. February is also Black History Month, when we take time to especially examine and amplify all the amazing things that people of African American descent have done in our country to make it better in so many ways. Our project today is inspired by one of those people. Her name was Mae Jemison, and she was the very first African-American woman to go up into space when she was a part of the Spaceship Endeavour crew in 1992 as their science specialist. So we are going to be doing a little science today as well, and in fact, it's going to be rocket science because we are going to be making some straw rockets. Now, these are not going to go all the way up into space, which would be amazing, but they will be able to be launched pretty far. Here are the materials you're going to need. You're going to start with some just white printer paper. It doesn't have to be thick like construction paper. It can be nice and thin. A straw, a pencil, ruler, scissors, tape, and some art supplies if you would like to decorate your rocket and give it some color. We're going to start by making the body of our rocket, so kind of the long cone shape. And to do that, we're going to need a nice long strip, or actually a rectangle of paper. So I want a rectangle that is a little shorter than the length of my straw. So my straw, if I measure it with my ruler, looks like it is about 7.5 inches. So I think I'm going to make my rectangle about 5 inches long. So using my ruler, and you don't necessarily need a ruler, I just think it helps. I'm gonna measure 5 inches and make a line. And then I need it to kind of be a thin strip. So I think I'm going to make it about 1.5 inches wide. So I'm gonna measure again, 1.5 inches wide, so that I have a rectangle. Looks like that. I am going to start by decorating my rectangles. I would like it to be colorful, so I'm going to add some different colors to it, and then I'm going to cut it out. If you do not want to color yours, you can just go ahead and skip that step and go right to cutting it out. But I want to add some color, so I'm going to make mine maybe some blues and greens, and as soon as I finish that, we will go ahead and cut it out. All right, I finished coloring my strip of paper that is 5 inches by 1.5 inches. I'm going to use my scissors to cut it out. Then I'm going to get ready to wrap it around my straw to make the body of my rocket. Here it is. I'm going to lay my straw right on the paper and roll it up. So I'm going to roll the paper right up around my straw. I want it to be pretty tight, but loose enough that I can pull the straw out because we are going to want to launch this rocket from our straw. We don't want it to be so tight that it won't move. So here it is all wrapped around, and I'm going to use 2 pieces of tape to just secure it so it is loose enough that the straw can come out. It's not going to get stuck. Then I'm going to take the end of my paper and I'm going to fold it over to make like a tab. One end of this tube is going to be closed like that. And I'm going to use another piece of tape to secure the end that is folded over so that no air is going to leak out that way when I'm getting ready to launch my rocket. Now, if you do not really like arts and crafts, you would rather get right on to the science part, this will work as a rocket. You can blow it and it will go flying. You can be done right now if you'd like. But I am going to add some wings to my rocket. The wings help to stabilize your rocket, which means it'll be able to fly straighter and stay in the air for longer, which I would like my rocket to do. So this is the body of my rocket. Now I'm ready to add the wings. So I'm going to use that same piece of paper that I cut out my strip from. It's plenty big enough. I'm going to cut out 3 wings for my rocket. And I want them to be about 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches. So I am going to use my ruler again, go to a corner here, make a line at 1.5 inches, then go up to 1.5 inches. I'm doing this at the corner of my paper because then I'm going to draw a line that goes to the corner to make a triangle. Here is what my first wing is going to look like. I'm going to cut that out, and then I'm going to trace it to make 2 more wings that are the exact same size. I'm going to go ahead and trace them, and I will cut them out and show you what they look like. Now I have 3 wings that are all the same size. In order to connect my wings to the body of my rocket, I'm going to need kind of a little tab. So I'm just going to fold over the edge of the wing, just a teeny tiny little bit, so that I can put tape on it, and then I can fold the wing so it'll stick straight out from the body. So I'm going to do that with all of my wings. Just fold over one of the straight edges a tiny little bit, like maybe 1/4 inch, just a little bit, probably even less than that, maybe 1/8 inch. So it has a little tab that I can attach the tape to. Then I'm going to take my rocket. I can just leave it on the straw, or I can take it off, whatever is easiest for you. I'm going to take some little tiny piece of tape. If you need to cut your tape to be a little smaller, I think I'm actually going to do that, because it's honestly, even a regular piece of tape is too wide. I want kind of a thin piece of tape. I'm going to stick it to the tab of my wing, and then stick that wing onto the body of my rocket. So it's nicely attached, but I can also make it stand out straight from the side of my rocket. I'm going to do that 2 more times. I already done it once, so that we have 3 wings in total. So add another little strip of tape. And I want them about equal distance around the bottom, which is kind of hard to do with 3s. It's kind of easy to do with 2 things. 3s can make it a little hard to do that, but we're going to do our best. When all of your wings are attached, your rocket is done. You are ready to go and test it out. Now you can launch your rocket. You're going to want to find a nice big space in your house, or even better, go outside where you have a ton of space. See how high and how far you can get your rocket to launch. You can measure it, maybe with some measuring tape, and see how far it goes. You can have some competitions with people in your family to see who can get theirs to go the farthest. Maybe you want to put out a target and see if you can get your rocket to go towards that target and land on it. There are tons of fun things that you can do with your straw rocket. But before you go, I also have some books that will let you learn a little bit more about Mae Jemison and about space, if that is something that you are interested in. I have 3 books that I would like to share with you. This first one is from our Ready to Read series, which is great for people who are kind of an easy reader or first chapter level of reading. And it is called You Should Meet Mae Jemison by Lori Kolkoven. This can be found in our biography section, and it will give you a ton of great information about Mae Jemison, who was an amazing woman. She was a scientist, an astronaut, a teacher, and in fact, she is now still working in space science with the 100-year spaceship project, trying to figure out a way to send people to other galaxies, which is super far away from here. So this is a lot of great information about her. If you would like to learn about other women who have made a huge impact on our society, you can check out this book, which is going to be for a little bit of a higher reading level. It's called Brave Black First, 50-plus African-American Women Who Changed the World by Cheryl Willis Hudson. This has women from all over our country and throughout history who have done amazing things as activists, as scientists, as artists, as athletes, and what they've done to change the world around us. And last but not least, if you are super interested in learning about space, this book is actually written by Mae Jemison. It's by Dr. Mae Jemison and the 100-Year Starship Project, and it's called Discovering New Planets. It teaches us about some of the planets that are in our solar system and also a little bit about space travel. I hope that you enjoyed this project today and you are able to get your rockets to launch super far. We hope to see you in the junior room soon.